Good morning, Patel. Good morning, Varun. Good morning, Sudhir. Good morning, Suresh ji. कैसे हो? ये पूरा क्यों नहीं आ रहा है? नहीं नहीं, लॉन्ग के लिए नहीं देख रहे. प्लान ऑफ एक्शन इज स्टिल टुवर्ड शॉर्ट ओनली. कल का ट्रेड को तो बंद करने दो पहला. सेटअप फॉर्म होने दो. सेटअप फॉर्म होने से पहले नहीं. overlay by. नहीं, wait. Sir, MTSL point 4475. Today's trade, sir. 4455. Apologies, my bad. Right? So, at the point of interest, what are the major things? I'll start from the first. At this range of motion, market surplus minimality M2 फॉर्म किया है, 100% break होना है, 100% break होना है तो what do we look for? First come first serve servings. First come first serve serving में this is the supply which we mapped over here at this current point. With this current point of action, market showcased her 150% rejection in the supply, correct? So जैसे ही 150% rejection in the supply दिखाया, what is the first thing that we'll be looking for? A stabilized movement action plan of the first come. So this demand will be taken under the play, 100% break okay, 100% of minimality का 150% range of stability movement पे sustain हुई है market. Correct? So for this, there is an LG point which market hasn't created a substantial movement. So what is the plan of action that you should be looking? Starts from 1 hour. Right? At 1 hour, 6th के दिन में न्यूयॉर्क सेशन में एक मूवमेंट डेवलप हुई थी. What is that movement? On the bullish trend, market created a high volume reversal point with breaking all the volume levels. With that volume levels, market created an S2B1 setup and continued the movement towards the short. With that short formation, कल के दिन में एक retracement form हुआ था with high volume. This point, right? 6:30 हिसाब से Indian time frame पे. With that, continuity in the movement इंटैक्ट हुई, ड्रॉप डाउन. उसके बाद मार्केट पूरा दिन आइसबर्ग जोन में था, एक्सेप्ट दिस न्यू स्कैंडल मूवमेंट जो कि इंडिकेट कर रहा था स्टेबिलिटी ऑफ हंट डाउन ऑफ ए नियरेस्ट इंटैक्ट पॉइंट, जो कि ये वाला रेंज. राइट? सो जैसे ही ये वाला इंटैक्ट डेवलप हुई, market sustained in that same zone, right? So in this sustainability, what is the first thing that market has done? Created a formation. With the formation, market has dropped the moment, correct? So on this drop moment, what is one thing that you have to keep in mind? Okay, उसके बाद market is still again in the zone, and आज के दिन में market एक spike action दिया है. मतलब the nearest intact point range तक आके continuity in the moment will be the plan of action which we will be looking for. So अगर reversal देखना है, what will we be following at this point? A proper setup creation with an indication of no selling pressures at all, right? जब तक market में selling pressure है, तब तक reversals नहीं देखेंगे, retracements trade definitely देखेंगे, जो कि ID के अंदर हम consideration पे लेके चलने वाले हैं, right? So with this formation, what are the major things that you will be doing at this stage? You will not be executing the trades in FOMO, nor take a wrong decision in execution. You will wait for a right point of execution. With the right point of execution, जब तक setup form नहीं होती है, patientfully wait करके देखेंगे. Okay, so this is gold. Any doubts in gold you guys are having? Yes. Formation जब तक नहीं दिखाता है ना स्मिता मैम, तब तक direction will be looked in perceptions of the movement which will be taken under the liquidated point. Good morning, Arya. Apologies for yesterday. Apologies for what? Chill, chill, no worries. Okay. So next, we will start with Indian sessions today. What are the major allocations that we'll be looking for at the current point in Nifty? Whenever there is a substantial movement which has been showcased in a plan of action, one second, एक doubt आया है. Good morning, sir. Good morning, Nilesh. Yesterday in gold, there was a pending intact at 345 to there was a pending intact at 345 to 415 intact, which was converted at 830 UTC. But similarly, there was intact at 1245 to 115 UTC, which was not covered. So this pending intacts are kept deliberately for the future moves, or it depends upon the amount of pending liquidity at the zone or the amount of liquidity already grabbed, which decides whether it will get covered or not. As per the IG, there is no pending intact. Yes, as per the IG, there is no pending intact. But information is what the major lookouts will be in formation of, right? कल के दिन के जो बोल रहे हो आप 345 का जो इंटैक्ट मूवमेंट है यहाँ पे 345 to 315, right? So this movement plan of action which got covered here post completion of demand 150% कल के दिन में ही cover हुआ था 845 को, as you mentioned, correct? So with this coverance, what do we have to majorly look at this point? Okay, the formational drop which has been allotted. How do you allot the movement action plan? Right? Each and every moment. Why is this not getting converted into bullish trend yet? Because notice, वो एक घंटे में दिखा देता हूँ so that it will be easier for you to explain. Right? So in this formation, definitely what do we see? LG.1 is pending over here, right? With the LG.1 pending, what is the next thing? The entire gap up, right? अगर ये movement complete होता है, that's when the next plan of action will get into the play, not prior to that. So in this scenario, on the daily time frame, if you notice, what is daily time frame indicating? Right? Exact intact completion and a drop till where the drop is looked at, the first intact point, which is at 4402 to 4400. So wherein that will be the major allocation point. अगर ये भी drop करके continuity में जब आता है, then the formation will be covered to this range, not prior to that. So that's the reason in today's scenario also, if you notice, in 4 hours, what do you look out for? Do we have any intact pending in this entire region? Right? जितना भी short trend का जो intact pending था वो complete हुआ, right? Complete होने के बाद buying pressures definitely market में allot हो रही है. But if you notice over here, intact one and the entire dilution liquidity point over here, correct? So when this formation gets into the play, that's where the major allocations of buying trades get positioned. So that's the reason अगर कल का ही दिन movement आ जाना चाहिए था, correct? Because on the formation of major dilution which has been taken under the consideration of this point. But इस point में भी market sustain नहीं हुआ, क्यों? क्योंकि पूरा LG complete नहीं हुआ है यहाँ पे, right? If you notice in this candle. So that's the reason it's always looked in the pursuance of first a liquidity which is diluted, post dilution continuity in the market. सो उसके लिए अगर नोटिस करोगे एक भी मूवमेंट में इस बेरिश ट्रेंड में आपको कहीं पे भी इंटैक्ट जोन पेंडिंग नहीं दिख रहा है ना. 4 hours में लो, all intact zone is completed, right? Daily time frame पे लो, all intact zone is completed except this one, right? अगर मूवमेंट प्लान आउट एक्शन पे आना है तो ये कंप्लीट करने दो, उसके बाद आने दो ट्रेंड फिर से. हमेशा ये चीज याद रखना. Okay, Nilesh? So that is the only formulation that you will be following at this current stage. Any other doubts you guys are having? अगर ये ब्रेक करता है तभी जाके सरप्लस का अलोकेशन देखना. Okay, not prior to that. Good afternoon, Peter. How are you? On the break and sustainability only, we'll be mapping the surplus minimality M2 150% as the first target, and then second, not prior to that. What is the challenge? Reports. Account has grown to 48. Good morning, everyone. Currently in gold in 15 minutes, there is a pending intact at 115 to 145. 115. That pending is of 15 minutes, but 1 hour में notice करो, 1 hour close हो चुकी है. If you're noticing over here, the 1 hour is having no intact at the current stage. Correct? So when 1 hour is not having an intact, but 15 minutes is having an intact, that formation will be taken under the consideration post completion of the bearish trend, which will get into the play as a retracement position allocation. See, if you're looking in perspective of an allocations in swing trading, then 15 minutes intact will be taken under the consideration post completion of the opposite direction intact. मान के चलो at this current stage इस range of motion पे कहीं पे भी intact नहीं है, correct? So the nearest point is this. So ये intact complete होने दो, LG complete होने दो, उसके बाद जब movement long के तरफ convert होता है ना, उस point of action पे this intact zone will act as retracement. Okay? सिंपल एग्जांपल पे समझाना है, तो ये वाला जोन ऑफ एक्शन को समझते हैं कल के दिन में, राइट? सो हम लोग शॉर्ट में थे, राइट? फ्रॉम दिस पॉइंट ऑफ एक्शन 150% से रिजेक्शन लिया था यहाँ पे सुबह में, राइट? मार्केट यहाँ से एग्जैक्टली 150 से रिजेक्शन लिया, क्यों? अगर 1 आवर पे आके नोटिस करते हो, व्हाट डू वी सी एट दैट पॉइंट? We had a intact pending, right? So henceforth, market took a rejection, came to the play, completed the intact, and then followed through the movement, right? So in this case, what do you notice? There is no intact, right? So when there is no intact, it will hunt down the major dilution, then creates the formation of a retracement in 15 minutes, right? So that should be the major plan of action which you will be looking at. Clear, Nilesh? Sir, I have after a very long time. Can you please tell what is the setup in which we are trading? S to B1. Oh, sorry, my bad. किसी को भी कोई और डाउट है, please do ask. Streaming will be there for next 20 minutes. Please get your doubts cleared. आप सभी लोगों को एक चैलेंज है. If you want me to see punching the trades in live, make sure you learn this before Feb first week or second week. Okay, the latest setup of supply and demand, I thought again some new strategy you have created. No, no, no. It is still working in the market, no? So by Feb 2nd, agar 80% of the current Concord viewers, whoever are watching, can do the analysis by themselves, definitely, as I've got so many requests, we will do it in the live streaming. Okay? But 80% plus लोगों की एनालिसिस आनी चाहिए तभी ही. सर एक बार एनालिसिस बता सकते हैं कैसे करना है? रिवाइंड कर लो जस्ट अभी. गुड मॉर्निंग तो सर. नहीं सर, वो आप कंटिन्यूएशन में बताए, लाइक आज के दिन ही कैसे किए मुझे स्टार्टिंग से समझना है. कुछ भी याद नहीं है. व्हाट एलजी इम्पैक्ट एंड ऑल अदर थिंग्स. ओके, डेफिनेटली 10 मिनट में तो नहीं होने वाला, बट कल 9:15 को, सॉरी कल फ्राइडे है ना. ओके चलो. अभिषेक, एलटीडी सेशन का जो मेंबर है उनको 15 मिनट डिले कर दो. आई विल एक्सप्लेन इट. 15 minutes, हाँ. Right. So what are the major things you guys have to look for? तो वीडियो भी आ रही है कैसे भी. चलो, तो भी. Right. On the first formation, whichever side the market is creating the direction. 1, 2, 3, 4. समझो इस पॉइंट ऑफ एक्शन पे एक पीओआई बिल्ड हुआ. Right. So this POI range of action will be taken under the consideration of your starting point. Right. So इस starting point से major allocation देखना through the previous mapping point. Right. अगर market reverse हुआ है तो starting point of action will be your supply from the POI range and allocating the supply and demand. Right. So supply 100% break and continue हुआ है तो 200% mapping लो. 200% mapping में से 150% will be your first rejection point, 200% will be your second rejection point, right? In stability, what is the first major action plan that you will be looking for? अगर यहाँ से rejection मिला है, right, at this point of range, what will you be doing? First mapping will be taken under the consideration of the first come first serve demand. मान के चलो ये वाला डिमांड यहाँ से प्लॉटिंग में फर्स्ट अलोकेशन में आएगा. ठीक है. सो वो प्लॉटिंग का जो फर्स्ट अलोकेशन पॉइंट रहता है दैट विल एक्ट एज योर 100%. राइट. सो 100% ब्रेक एंड कंटिन्यू हुआ तो डबल इट. ओके. सो इन दिस फॉर्मेशन जब भी मूवमेंट एक्शन डेवलपमेंट में आती है, एक ही चीज ध्यान में रखना कि यहाँ पे रिजेक्शन दिखा रहा है या नहीं दिखा रहा है. राइट. अगर रिजेक्शन दिखा रहा है तो व्हाट इज द फर्स्ट थिंग यू विल डू? जितना भी सप्लाई मूवमेंट यहाँ पे है, राइट, ये आपका फर्स्ट प्ले आउट करेगा. So this mapping will be taken under the consideration over here, right? This is the mapping which you will be taking under the consideration of basic supply and demand. With this formation, अगर यहाँ पे range of motion में rejection दिखा था, समझो यहाँ पे एक supply form हुआ, right? इस supply में कहीं पे भी 50% का पहले रिजेक्शन दिखी, 1 2, बिलो 50% कहीं पे भी रिजेक्शन आती है, that is considered as M1. Target directly on the break of 50% above will be 150% and then 200. Okay. सेम सिनेरियो यहाँ पे एक सप्लाई फॉर्म्ड है, अगर रिजेक्शन 50% के ऊपर ले रही है, 1 2 एंड 3, यहाँ से रिजेक्शन नीचे आया विदाउट कंप्लीटिंग 100% ऑफ द सप्लाई, on continuity of the movement market will go up till 200%. रेयर केस सिनेरियो 150 से रिजेक्शन लेगा, नहीं तो पूरा 200% कंप्लीट करेगा, राइट. So this is the formation of M1 M2 normal supply and demand. Surplus जब भी 200% ब्रेक होता है, on the break and continuity पे मैपिंग होगी. ओके, आज के लिए इतना बेसिक काफी है, इसे फॉलो करो. व्हाट इज एलजी पॉइंट? जस्ट फॉर एन एग्जांपल मान के चलो एक कैंडल है, राइट. दिस कैंडल डजंट हैव a wick in the bottom, राइट. ऊपर एक विक है, नीचे विक नहीं, राइट. सो दिस कैंडल विल बी कॉल्ड एज लिक्विडिटी ग्रैब पॉइंट. कितना भी फास्ट मूवमेंट रहने दो ऊपर के लिए, एक पॉइंट ऑफ एक्शन में जाके मार्केट रिवर्स होगा. ओके. जैसे ही ये लिक्विडिटी कंप्लीट करेगी, मार्केट इस पॉइंट ऑफ एक्शन से रिवर्स करके S2B1 सेटअप के साथ मार्केट कंटिन्यूटी में डेवलपमेंट दिखाएगा. ओके. सो दैट इज योर एलजी पॉइंट. एंड इंटैक्ट लेवल सेम है, कैंडल ए को इंटैक्ट करने दो, उसके बाद कंप्लीशन पे कंटिन्यूटी में डायरेक्शन पकड़ लेने दो. तब तक के लिए फॉर्मेशन will be withholded with the formatting movement of the previous. Okay. More of like I have to see the POI range start first. That will be my starting point. Yes, that's right. Then I have to see break of 100% of the last supply and demand. Then my TP will be 150%. Next will be 200. Yes, if there is only retracement from 150%, then 200%. इसके साथ मेजर TTS 2.0 को फॉलो थ्रू में लेके चलना. Without that, no plan of action will be taken under the consideration. ठीक है. If 150% से reverse करता है तो so reversal 1 will be 100% of the last demand or the supply. Right. Next target will be 200. Perfect. बोलना आसान है, मैपिंग करना थोड़ा मुश्किल होगा because you have given a long break. Sorry, long break. So step by step में आना. 1 month of back testing, 1 month of forward testing के बाद ही लाइव में घुसना. ओके. लंदन सेशन तक हो जाना चाहिए 1 मंथ. 240 पिप्स रनिंग. MTSL को 4444 पे रख लो. स्मिता मैम MTSL at 4448. अरुंधति मैम MTSL at 4450. सर वेयर आर अदर्स? उनका न्यू ईयर अभी तक खत्म नहीं हुआ. जो भी नए हैं, on a smaller note of 5 minutes I've explained you how our basic works. Okay. So this is the only formulation which continuously works lifelong. Good morning, Raj. You're late today. I'm not complaining. I was just pulling your leg though. Okay. अभिषेक स्पैम मत करो यार. एक बार बेच दिया ठीक है हो गया. चार चार बार बेच दिया तूने आज. Sir, I have a doubt. It created three-wing setup at 3:15 a.m. UTC and high volume. But why didn't you consider this volume for the long and how to overcome this kind of trap setup? There is nothing called as trap setup, Joseph. Okay. So मार्केट में क्लियर कट डाइल्यूशन नीचे के तरफ है. बिना वो डाइल्यूशन कंप्लीट किए मार्केट पोजीशन नहीं लेगी, राइट? जैसे ही पोजीशन खत्म होगा तब जाके फॉर्मेशन ऑफ बाइंग प्रेशर दिखने को मिलेगी. जब वो दिखेगी तब लॉन्ग की तरफ बैठेंगे, राइट? एंड हियर आप 15 मिनट में थ्री विंग सेटअप यहाँ पे देख रहे हो, करेक्ट? उसको अलोकेशन के वाइज भी देखना है तो फर्स्ट कम फर्स्ट सर्व मैपिंग लोगे ना, राइट? क्लियर कट मैपिंग करके बैठे है शॉर्ट के लिए, आप लॉन्ग के लिए क्यों देख रहे हो? So let market give an indication in 1 hour first. Then the remaining things will be looked into the play, not prior to that. Okay? So, sir, that was the reason from yesterday New York session till today morning, I didn't do the analysis. I wanted to showcase you guys how it is done so that you get that right point of interest for an execution. Check, 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 check. What is your question? You had only one question, no? I gave you an explanation for that, Arya. आपका S2B1 सेटअप का फॉर्मेशन का ही है ना क्वेश्चन? I explained you know. Buying pressures will be looked in the formation of 1 hour, right? So henceforth, at the current scenario, market has not created any kind of buying pressure. Market is in the bearish trend. So the formation executions will be looked towards the short till the LG point and intact levels aren't completed. Okay. लाइव में भी जो भी शॉर्ट किए उनका भी 120 पिप्स चल रहा है. Oh, that's fine. Good. आईडी के हिसाब से उनको सिर्फ 30 पिप्स और चाहिए, मिल जाएगा. नहीं नहीं हेमंत, बने रहो. आएगा आएगा. चिल आउट. Slow and steady movements are the better ones in Asian. Only in Asian. दूसरे जगह पे नहीं. हरकतों से महफूज है ये. Where is your entry? My first entry is at 4455. My second entry is at 4446. My third entry in the live is at 4444. जहाँ पे analysis के time. This is where I entered. सर ऐसे लुट गया. एंट्री कहाँ पे की? 4430. भाई यही तो बोलता हूँ. फोमो में ट्रेड मत करो यार, सेटअप फॉलो करो. The only request for you guys, follow the setup. एंड अगर 30 पे एंट्री किया है, एक चीज बताओ, एसएल कैसे गया तुम्हारा? हम्म. एशियन सेशन का 30 पिप्स है ना. ग्रीन कैंडल देख के डर गया. भाई तुम फ्लक्चुएशन करने को भी गैप नहीं दोगे तो एसएल जाएगा ही ना. So to identify the buying or selling pressure in 1 hour, do you need two candles buying or selling pressure? No, single candle is also enough. Yeah, with high volume. And wick creation is very much important. Okay. Tomorrow is Friday, no session available. All the new members, whichever strategy you guys are following, doesn't matter to me. Just make sure you do 6 months of back testing, 6 months of forward testing, 1 month of live analysis. Come with a smaller capital, compound it while following a proper risk to reward, and grow your account. Right? It's your hard earned money. So learn before you earn. Don't give your account to manhandle nor follow any tips and lose the money. One good trade is a trade taken with your analysis, your mindset, your executions, your wins, your losses. With your losses, you will learn. With your wins, you will grow. Right? So protect your capital, execute at the levels following the right setups. This is Nitesh signing off. Nitesh. This is Nitesh signing off. मिलते हैं अगली stream में. Till then, take care, bye bye, and happy weekend, everyone.